iNobscuria.
My friends, to the iNobscuria podcast, a podcast where we exhume obscure rock and punk and metal, and we put them in one of three categories: the lost, the forgotten, or the should-have-beens. My name is Kevin Williams, and tonight I am joined by Mr. Robert Harrison. He's here.
I am over here. Sorry, I was not here yesterday for the other recording. I had a meeting with the mayor and a couple of city council people, so... Sorry, I missed that. I
had the mayor of Conyers here with me.
I heard, yes. I got your text, and I was like, oh, God, no. So I have changed the code on the door locks and taken care of that.
Yeah, I thought it was you playing a joke on me, and then I look over, and there's Bobby J.
Yeah, he means well. Bless his heart, as we say.
You haven't heard what we did last night. But,
no.
So I was going to record this episode, and so I just came over because you told me that you weren't here, but I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and do it, and then I started to do it, and then he walked in, and so we just pivoted, man. We pivoted.
Yeah, that's talent right there. You can just take it and run with it.
Yeah, so hopefully people, when they hear what I did with Bobby J, hopefully we don't lose a whole bunch of people, but maybe we'll gain a whole bunch of people that are really into that.
It's a different market out there in Conyers. Not sure how many people have internet connections over there, but we'll see.
So are you excited? You ready to... We are packing up, people.
God,
we're packing up. Now, this will not come out until after we have already gone to the Rockin' Pod, but we are recording this before we go, so we will be packing up right after we do this. I just wanted to get this in so that we don't have to rush when we get back. I have a feeling we're going to be a little tired.
Let's just say tired.
Let's just say tired. Oh, and after you catch some Z's, go listen to Pot of Thunder, Cobras and Fire, Growing Up Rock, The Slamfest Podcast, Decibel Geek, Metal Up Your Podcast, The Hustle, Dummy Room, Podcast Rock City, History Science Theater, State of Amorica, Rock Strikes 10, Potter Than Hell, The Podcast, The Kiss Room, I Love It Loudcast, Ages of Rock, The Synaptic Empire, and don't forget about Monty's Rockcast. Come visit us at iNobscuria.com. Like us, share us, recommend us, do all the stuff on the socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Leave us a review and buy our shit.
There's a lot of it to buy.
There is. There's a whole bunch.
Patronize our sponsor.
I don't know if I should play the sponsor reel now or not. It'll be after the event. Should I still divulge who our sponsor is and play that one more time?
Exactly. We worked hard to get that sponsorship. I drove to Walmart to buy potted meat, so that was a...
Well, that's true. That's exactly how the sponsorship works, too. The
First
sponsor
time I've been to a Walmart in a long time.
Take your ass to the store and buy it.
That's right.
After they said this.
Woe to you, O earth and sea, for the devil sends the beast with wrath, because he knows the time is short. Let him who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast, for it is a human number. Its number is
Underwood Deviled Ham.
My mom makes great sandwiches. This one's deviled ham.
My mom always gives me meat sandwiches to keep me going. Like deviled ham.
It's all good ham and a pinch of spices. For good meat and good flavor, try the whole ham spread.
From Underwood.
Can't wait to crack open these cans we got sitting right here on the bar.
Well, there's one less than you had before because Bobby J actually fingered one of those last night and ate the whole thing.
On his way home. No,
he ate it. I didn't even see him eat it. I look up and the can's empty.
Oh, God. Between him and Dio, see who can finish a can quicker.
Yeah, so we are sponsored by Underwood Deviled Ham. And if you come see us, well, by the time, again, this comes out, you will have already seen us. So you will have missed out, but that is our sponsor. And so what are we talking about again? We are talking about the Nashville Rockin' Pod. So again, when this comes out, we will have already been, but I still want to focus on some music that I tried to play last night. So we are going to break up our episodes. We're going to get probably a good 3 or 4 episodes out of the content from the Rockin' Pod, because we're interviewing rock stars, we're talking to people that listen to the show, we're talking to random people. We'll have a whole lot of content. We're going to do some games, we're going to give out some deviled ham. Mm-hmm. We'll get it all
Single
recorded.
Women, married women,
Exactly.
talking to all of them.
All of it. What I thought we'd do is a show featuring some of the more obscure songs from several of the guests at the Rockin' Pod Expo. And again, I tried to do this last night. I didn't get very far before I was interrupted. It's time to do this tonight. And before I play one last little snippet, Rockin' Pod is an annual event. So this is the 4th one. And basically what it is a sort of like a trade show for podcast, for rock podcast, music-based podcast, and then rock fans, and then they bring in lots of artists. So it takes place in Nashville. A lot of the 80s hair band and hard rock and metal artists actually live in Nashville now.
It's become the semi-retirement home area for those seasoned rock stars.
That's a good way of saying it. Seasoned rock stars now live in Nashville, so it's easier place to get those folks to come by. So I bet half the people that are at the Rockin' Pod actually live in Nashville. So it's kind of all of that in one. So it's also like there's going to be it's almost like a record convention too. There's going to be record vendors. There's going to be
you're going to be all over that.
I am.
I'm going to have to hold your wallet for you.
So it's just going to be a lot of fun, but it's a way to celebrate and promote and just have a whole lot of fun. That's what we're planning on doing. I'm going to play this one last time so you know who these artists are that are going to be featured, and then we're going to play some music from some of these artists that maybe you're not as familiar with.
This August will rock as Rockin' Pod returns to Nashville. This annual convention brings together rock artists, fans, and podcasters for an unforgettable rock experience. Meet Billy Sheehan, Ron Keel, Ricky Rachtman, Mark Goodman, Matt Pinfield, Don Jameson of That Metal Show, drum legends Carmine Appice and Vinny Appice, along with current and former members of Winger, LA Guns, Accept, Roxy Blue, and more. Panels, signing sessions, and vinyl and memorabilia vendors, all available to you at Rockin' Pod. Music podcasters from all over North America will be appearing on site for live interviews, networking, and speaking sessions. Got a music podcast? Register and join us. Rockin' Pod Weekend kicks off with a pre-party concert featuring former Tesla guitarist Tommy Skio and his new band Resist and Bite. Plus, Ron Keel Acoustic, Rock United, and a rare hair set featuring many surprise guests. Rockin' Pod Weekend, August 6th through the 8th in Nashville, Tennessee. Tickets, VIP, podcaster registration, and discounted hotel rooms are available now at rockandpod.com. Rockin' Pod, brought to you by DBG Productions, Brad Lee Entertainment, and Incaptia.
Last time you hear the song,
That outro always throws me off because I think Captain Ryan's sailing in when I hear the funk music start. I'm like, oh yeah, Captain Ryan's coming in.
Where is he?
I don't know. Oh.
I'm sure we will have him back.
Okay.
He should probably go to Rockin' Pod with us next year.
Oh, he'd have fun.
Yeah, we'll just roll up to Rockin' Pod in the pirate ship.
Okay. Figure out the miles per gallon to make that happen.
I think we'd have to tow it to Nashville and then ride it in.
Just, the last, 100 yards.
Oh, man, that would be awesome. See what we can do. See how this goes over. See how we go over. See if we get invited back.
Did Ron ever tell you a story about taking the pirate ship out to Burning Man the first time?
No.
And lost the drive shaft on the way out there?
How does that happen?
I don't know, but they got there and it wouldn't go, and they looked underneath, no drive shaft. So he just towed this thing, 2,000 miles to go from Georgia to Nevada, gets there with no drive shaft. And he's been building this thing for a while. I'm not sure how long it took him to build, but gets there. So they basically just tied a rope to it and got friends to pull it around. They would pull it out over here and hang out.
Did they just load up with it on the trailer and just ride the trailer around?
They could have, yeah, but they just actually just pulled it around like a chariot and just pushed it here, pushed it there, and it's that fun. Uh-oh, Deal's wanting to play. All right.
Ronnie James, DOJ. He knows you're leaving.
Yeah, he knows.
He's like, where are you going,
This has been one of those days. I've already had to go get him from the neighbor's house down the street. A slight pause while I actually encouraged him to exit the room.
All right, so let's dive into episode 89. Last of the 80s.
89.
Rock. I'm not calling it Rock and Pod. This is Rock iNobscuria Pod 2021. This is part 1.
That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful. It looks better on paper.
Doesn't really roll.
Well, we're going to roll with it.
Let's have another beer and see how that works.
So, of the names that you heard, one of the first names that Aaron Camaro says in that ad is Billy Sheehan.
Yes.
That's a big name for those of us who are from the 80s.
Yeah.
Who know the 80s. I mean, he was basically known for his work with David Lee Roth. Mm-hmm. And then also Mr. Big.
Post Beach Boys covers, show tunes, right?
Right. So the first album, Eat 'Em and Smile, which is an amazing, that's just a top-notch album today. Mm-hmm. It has aged really well, in my opinion. Still great. Steve Vai and Billy Sheehan.
David Lee Roth may not have aged well. But
yeah. David Lee Roth probably can't sing any of those songs anymore, and certainly he doesn't look the part anymore, but man, that album is killer. And Billy Sheehan and Steve Vai are all over it. So I think most people that know that name, that's where they know him from. And then after that, he joined a kind of super group called Mr. Big, who had a really huge hit in, what was that?
One who wants to be with you. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
God, chicks love that song.
Oh, they do. It's a great song.
It is.
Kind of Beatlesy.
It is. It's a good song. I liked it.
That band, they got pigeonholed because of that song, just like Extreme.
I was going to say, wasn't it right about the same time as Extreme?
The same time. Yeah, More Than Words, and then that maybe a year or two later.
Back to back, most people wouldn't have been able to tell you who sang which one. But yeah, a good time for those songs, and then it just went.
Yeah, and I saw Mr. Big a bunch because they opened 2 consecutive tours for Rush. So the first time I ever saw Rush, I saw Mr. Big open for them.
Oh, damn, that would be a lot of fun.
Oh, it was great. And I saw the next tour, Mr. Big opened for them again. Mm-hmm. So I think I saw them a total of maybe 4 or 5 times opening for Rush. And they had a song called Addicted to That Rush. So every time they played that, the Rush fans, all being dorks, would go nuts.
Oh, God, I remember that song.
That's a great song.
So how many times have you seen Rush?
I've seen Rush probably, there was only one tour that I missed since Presto. So from 89 until they stopped, I probably saw them 25 times maybe.
Yeah, when was the last time we saw them at Verizon? Did you see them after that?
Yes, I did. I saw them, the last time I saw them, I met them in person.
Oh, that's right.
That was
the last, it's a way to go out.
Blackberry Smoke shared the same, not the label, but I think, so Blackberry Smoke were on Rounder at that point, and Rush used Rounder for their
distribution
or something.
Yeah.
And because of that, we got to get the meet and greet, and it was so cool.
But what a great way to kind of cap off that whole, not just their career, but your, heyday of the rock and roll days.
Oh, yeah. It was great.
Going to see shows like that.
Yeah, it was great. So back to Billy. Now, most people, again, know David Lee Roth. They know Mr. Big. They know that he's a badass bass player. He's one of these guys that's in all the magazines from back in the day, the guitar magazines. You always read about Billy Sheehan. Even guitar players liked him, even though he's a bass player. Guitarists actually liked him because
rare.
He would do chording. He would do 2-handed tapping, right hand, 3-finger picking. And I remember I used to rent with my buddy Hal Uten. We would rent the home video that he put out. It was an instructional video. Neither one of us played bass. I was a drummer and Hal was a guitarist, and we just got it to watch him. Just to watch and see what he did.
Total fanboying.
It was just so cool. I remember doing that several times in the early 90s. So other than Roth and Mr. Big, he's been in a band called the Winery Dogs, which is another supergroup with Mike Portnoy on the drums and Richie Kotzen playing guitar. And that's more like a classic rock kind of band. It's really cool. He's in a band, I guess they're still together, but they're called Sons of Apollo with Jeff Scott Soto, again, Mike Portnoy, Bumblefoot, and Derek Shrinian. It's another supergroup. It's a prog group, though, very proggy. But he started his whole career with a band called Talas. And Talas are actually, if you know the song Shy Boy that's on that first David Lee Roth album, that's a Talas song. And Addicted to That Rush is actually a Talas song as well.
Oh, that's how Mr. Big
So that's how Mr. Big got that song. But they were basically a bar band from Buffalo, and that's where Billy cut his teeth, and he did that band for like 10 years. And it was just one of those things where they kept trying to get big and make it and do something with it, and it just never happened for them. And they even had a couple of versions of the band to try to make it more appealing or go more mainstream, and finally he got the offer from David Lee Roth, and he just left. So that was the end of Talas. But I do have, Talas has gotten back together. I do have a couple of albums of Talas's and also some live stuff, and I'm going to play a live cut when they got back together in the late 90s. And this is my favorite Talas song. It's called High Speed on Ice. Just listen to the bass playing here.
Let the party
That is rock and roll right there. That reminded me early 70s Deep Purple with the harmonies and just the real up-tempo hard driving beat through the whole song. So that was, towards the end of the 70s, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that would have been the album that this came out on. They put on 2 albums. They formed in late 70s, and then I think their albums came out in 80, 81, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it would have been that time frame.
God, that's
right
good.
before the...
Love that.
Right before the hair kicked in.
The hair started. Well, they had long hair before the perms kicked in.
Yeah.
God, I
So,
love that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're spot on with Deep Purple. I was going to say kind of in the Rushy vein, kind of Deep Purple. But yeah, I see exactly what you're saying. It definitely sounds like that David Coverdale era of Purple.
Yes. Burn
era.
That's what I was
man.
thinking of.
Absolutely.
That's so funny to think that's David Coverdale.
I know, it doesn't really seem...
It doesn't
he was so
sound like
young.
it. Yeah,
He
I
was
guess
so
that's
young,
what
and
it
it doesn't
is.
really seem like him.
It wasn't cheesy.
Yeah. So Billy Sheehan, man, he's played in a lot of different bands, done a lot of solo stuff. I saw something on Facebook, so maybe they were going to get a new Winery Dogs. The talent the guy has in his pinky alone, I'll never even come close to.
I know he has a black cat.
He has, that's right. You keep up with him on Facebook.
And I've gotten a couple of his recipes he's posted.
He's always talking about pizza.
Pizza and his black cat.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, the other big name, or another big name that popped out in that ad, the brothers, the Appice brothers.
Okay.
Vinny
Appice.
Carmine Appice.
Peace. God dang it. Peace. Both of them are no ch.
Yeah. I don't know.
Peace
I don't understand.
apathy.
I don't understand, but I'm probably not going to ask the question.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking to Vinny. Now, Vinny is 11 years younger than Carmine. Carmine was in Vanilla Fudge. So if you know that band, they were
school
60s band. They were famous for covering Beatles songs and doing like real heavy. They kind of helped introduce heavy music, acid rock to the world. And he's been in a ton of other bands, but Cactus was one. I don't know if you ever heard of Cactus in the 70s. Cactus was a killer band. But Vinny, he started in his high school with his high school band. They went to the record plant in New York and they ran into none other than John Lennon. And John Lennon liked them so much. He's 16 years old. Vinny is 16 in his band at the time.
Hello, Mr. Lennon.
John Lennon liked them so much that he hired them as his backing band for some shows. So he started his career basically being the guy behind John Lennon. It's crazy, man.
How
crazy.
freaking awkward I was at 16. Well, actually, all the way to 42. But yeah, at 16 years old, and just this absolute idol of music, John Lennon,
an icon.
Yeah, he. Everybody in the world knew who he was at that point.
He stands on the pedestal.
Exactly.
Just amazing. And then he would go from there, and he joined Rick Derringer's band. So,
Rock and roll, hoochie coo.
Mr. Hoochie Coo. So he did 3 albums with Rick Derringer, 76 to 77. Most people know Vinny Appice for being in Sabbath with Dio. So when Dio joined Sabbath, Bill Ward was still the drummer. They recorded Heaven and Hell, and then Bill Ward left before the tour. They brought in Vinny Appice. And Vinny was with them for the next album, and then when Dio left Sabbath, after they had a little falling out, believe with Iommi, he took Vinny Appice with him. And the band Dio, their first 4 albums, the ones that everybody knows from the early 80s, 83 to 87, that's Vinny Appice.
No, I read recently that Ronnie, there was no love loss between Ronnie and Ozzy. Have you ever heard stories about that?
That's not
I've
a good...
I've never thought about that, but I just saw the article. It was like, oh, there's a whole other story that I haven't heard.
Yeah, they did not have a friendship, from what I understand, to put it lightly.
Because Ronnie seems like just, everybody loves him. Just a great guy, and then all of a sudden, no, Ozzy's like...
Ozzy does not.
Hey, the boy, Sharon!
I think that goes back even further. I think when Ronnie James Dio was in Rainbow, I think he had some kind of run-in with Ozzy in Sabbath at that time. Okay. And, they don't like each other. Never did. Never will, because Ronnie is no longer with us.
Too late to reconcile.
But we're talking about Vinny. So Vinny left Dio kind of after the glory years of Dio, after Dream Evil, I believe he left. And he went on, and he did do the Hearing Aid recording. So if you have never watched that video, go watch that.
Oh boy. Just gourmet cheese.
Oh, man, it's lovely.
Yes.
And then he formed a band called World War III, did a couple albums there. And then you may have heard of him again when he did Heaven and Hell, which was a reunited version of Sabbath with Dio, but they didn't call it Sabbath, they called it Heaven and Hell. And then also, as of late, he's been in a band of ex-Dio members called Last in Line. And they've put out a couple albums really good. But I'm not going to play from any of those things I just mentioned.
Just going to tease you with
No, I'm just going to tease you with all that.
Tease you.
Now, in between Rick Derringer and joining Sabbath, he put together a band that did one album, an LA power trio. They're called Axis. And the album is awesome. I mean, just killer in between 70s rock and what was coming in the 80s with metal. It's just killer music. I'm going to play from that album. It's called It's a Circus World. Came out in 1978. So this is Axis with Vinny Appice on the drums. You will recognize this drum sound. This is a song called Juggler.
Time is like a monster, can never
tell me if I'm crazy, I heard just a tiny little bit of some Steely Dan in there, just for the vocals.
Maybe,
It's just weird in a weird way, but that threads the needle, I think, perfectly. The late 70s rock, but a little bit of keyboards in there made it more 80s, like they were thinking ahead a little bit.
I agree. I hear a little bit of Purple again.
Yeah.
Mixed with late 70s Rush.
Yeah, oh yeah, you got to throw that in there.
And then I was just thinking, who do the keyboards remind me of? Triumph.
So 3-piece.
Yep. Power Trio, same thing. I don't know why this band didn't take off, but the album is killer. It's so good. But that is Vinny Appice. That sound, you hear those drums, it sounds just like Vinny Appice drums from the Dio recording. Sounds just like the Mob Rules. It's just, he has his own sound. He was one of those guys that he played like Bonham, like he hit him really hard. You could hear how hard he's hitting him. But and I said played, he still plays. He plays like John Bonham. And then he throws in this sort of, I don't know, he kind of sings with his drums a little bit, sort of like Keith Moon, but he's got the stability of Bonham beat with that little bit of craziness Keith Moon thrown in, maybe a little bit of Mitch Mitchell from Jimi Hendrix. That's what I hear anyway. Just very unique drummer to me.
Okay.
You're like, I don't know drums, whatever.
Don't know. I know the names. I can't keep a beat to save my life.
All right, let's move on to another rock star who's going to be at the Rockin' Pod, a man who means a lot to me, Ron Keel. Now, I go way back with Ron Keel because I remember my very first Hit Parader magazine that I ever got, and on the back cover of that Hit Parader magazine, there was an ad for this album from this band I've never heard of called Keel. And these guys are dressed in like Road Warrior getup and looking all badass, kind of like superheroes. And they're standing like in the Fortress of Solitude. There's like dry ice, and it just looks like everything else from the 80s. But it was new to me. It was new to me, you know. But I remember seeing that.
These days we call it S&M.
I remember seeing that and going, whoa, who are these guys? And I wasn't into that kind of music yet at all. I was just starting to get into it. And so I went and I picked up that first Keel album, the self-titled album from 1987, popped it in the cassette player, maybe my Walkman, I can't remember. The first song comes on, United Nations, Together We Will Rock. Oh, it was so good, man.
Oh, boy.
It was so good. And it set me on the course to, okay, I like punk. I like this heavy thrash stuff, but this kind of glam metal thing that I'm hearing, it's not so bad. And these guys do it really well.
Pleasantly delightful.
It still had badass guitars. These guys still look like they should have been on the Road Warrior set, so cool. So I was down with the Keel. Now, he actually started his career in Tennessee, and his band realized that in the late 70s, early 80s, that's not going to happen in Nashville, Tennessee.
That was the height of old school country, not this new crap.
Country. You're not.
Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, you better turn that in.
Merle Haggard.
So they loaded up the truck and they moved to L.A. And when they got to L.A., they renamed their band Steeler. And Steeler is an infamous band on the L.A. scene in the early 80s because, one, they were signed to Shrapnel Records, and two, when they signed to Shrapnel Records, they had this hotshot European guitarist named Yngwie Malmsteen. Yngwie. And that's the first time that anyone heard Yngwie. He had come over from Europe to impress everyone and be the new Richie Blackmore. And that's kind of what he was. But they made one album. It didn't do that great. It's very famously infamous now, but it didn't do that great at the time. Yngwie left to join a band called Alcatraz because Alcatraz had Graham Bonnet in it, and Graham Bonnet had once been in Rainbow, and Yngwie wanted to be Richie Blackmore. So he went over and played with Alcatraz.
Well, that's pretty direct, what he was looking for.
He wanted to be Richie Blackmore. That was his favorite guitarist. And so he went and played with Graham Bonnet for an album, and then I don't think Yngwie gets along with everyone, so he needed to be on his own, and that's where we all know of him now. He's on his own. But we're back to Ron Keel. He's left high and dry without a band, without a guitarist, and so he puts together a new version of a band, and it's just called Keel. It's his band, and they put out an album, and then they get the attention of a producer by the name of Gene Simmons.
Oh, Gene, yeah.
Who produces two albums for them in 85 and 86.
Do that again, yeah. Another take, yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah, I want to know what Gene Simmons was like in the production chair. Like, was he paying attention?
Yeah.
I don't know. In 85, 86, he was, doing movies. He was producing. He was lightly being in Kiss when he wanted. Paul Stanley was running that show at that time. But interesting. So he produced two albums. And then, like I said, the 87 album, that is Michael Wagner producing that one. It's a masterpiece. It's a great album. But it just didn't catch on with the mainstream. It was still kind of an underground thing. And so when the 90s comes around, Ron embraces himself and rebrands himself as Ronnie Lee Keel. And Ronnie Lee Keel does country music in the 90s. So He is a songwriter, man. He likes country and he likes rock, and he decided he could make more of a living trying to do country.
When you've got
in the
that
90s.
creative drive, I understand. You're going to go wherever you can go to get that music out. You want to write, and you want people to hear it.
Yep. And for that decade, that's what he did. And then when the 2000s comes around, he does reunite Keel, and they do some other recordings, and he kind of melds his two worlds together. He becomes the metal cowboy, and that's how he brands himself now. He's
And
the
there's
metal
lots
cowboy.
of bands out there that have figured that out. This whole alt country thing, that it's walking a fine line between the two.
Yeah, but he's he's in South Dakota now. He tours mostly the Midwest. Just he's branded as the metal cowboy, and he does a good job at it. So hats off to him, cowboy hat. But we're not going to play any of that stuff I just mentioned because that just wouldn't be right.
Jeez.
Especially when I find out that Mr. Ron Keel was hired for a one-album deal with a Japanese metal band, and this Japanese metal band is called SABER Tiger. Great name.
That's a good name.
Great name.
Good name. Points for that.
Japanese metal band from Sapporo, Japan, founded in 1981 by the guitarist Akito Kinoshita. Maybe.
Very good.
Maybe.
That was pretty good.
Sounds
I mean, it
good.
just rolled off your tongue like
did.
you'd said it before.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's kind of a one-man show with this guy, Akito, and he got Ron Keel to be his singer for his 97 album, so I'm going to play from that album. So here's a little Saber Tiger with Ron Keel on vocals. This song is called Hardwire, and the name of the album is Project One from 1997. Check it out.
Well,
So Ron's one of those people that has mastered the art of the operatic growl. Like Dio had it, some other musicians blank right now, but it's not the just operatic metal voice, Rob Halford, but it's got a kind of a little bit of a growl to it when he sings. So it's, you may not have the upper register of the sopranos of the metal world, but just like I said, just got that grunt to it.
Yeah, and he definitely was pushing himself in that one. I've heard him say, because I don't think I mentioned, but I am a card-holding member of the Killaholics.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so...
There's a lot of cards in that wallet over there.
So, anyway, I have heard Ron say that the first couple of Kill albums, even the ones he did with Gene Simmons, he was still finding his voice. So he has that kind of grunty, screamy voice, but he didn't really figure out how to control it or own it until the 87 album, the one that I got first. And in that album, he really has control over his voice. So by the time he's doing this in 97, I think he's able to control it. But that is like pushing, I think, the limit of his upper register. So I can only imagine that these days he may not be able to hit those notes anymore.
Well, you can take it down an octave. But with the backing band, just like every other Japanese band you played, incredible talent, incredible musicians.
That guitarist there's a reason this is his band. I mean, he was just he's all over the place. Just amazing guitar. All right. So let's talk about a gentleman who I just found out is no longer going to be attending the Rockin' Pod. Yes, I'm talking about Jason Bieler. We were scheduled to interview Mr. Bieler, but unfortunately...
Jason, we want a rain check.
Exactly. You owe us, man.
When you listen to this podcast, which I know you will.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he probably listens to it 2 or 3 times, if I know him well.
Just to get the references. And
just make sure he's got everything.
We're educating him.
Jason, just give us a call, man. Yeah, so Jason Bieler, he was the guitarist in Saigon Kick. That's where most people know him from.
Are they from Florida?
They are from Florida.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they are from Florida.
I should know them better.
You should know them better, Mr. Florida.
Exactly, Florida man.
So... unfortunately, they came out in the late 80s, early 90s, and they got lumped in with the glam metal. And I think this band is very similar to Extreme in that way, because they had a couple of sweet ballads that got
everybody
some attention.
had. Yeah, it's what people were looking for from 87 to 91.
Pretty much.
Was like that heyday for power ballads.
But especially if you're in a glam metal band, you had to have at least your second single.
Song.
Your second single needed to be a ballad, and it needed to be syrupy sweet, and that was going to be your hit.
Yep.
That was the formula. I don't feel like these guys necessarily were trying to follow the formula, but they did. And they got a hit.
Into it.
And they got sort of a hit with it. And just like Extreme, even though the rest of their music was outside of that world of glam metal, this is not a Motley Crue sounding band. They're all over the board. In fact, they have more in common with Queen than they do Motley Crue. But they got lumped into it. And back in the day, I put them in the category of their contemporaries at the time who I thought were kind of in their own zone. So King's X, Extreme, Galactic Cowboys, Warrior Soul, Alice in Chains. Those bands in the late 80s, early 90s had their own thing going on, and Saigon Kick was another one. But it is what it is. They got lumped in with that. They did 6 albums from 91 to 2000. At one point, they changed their name in 2000. They released an album as Super Transatlantic because they thought, well, if we change our name, people won't know that we're that band that was a glam metal band, and maybe they'll recognize us, but, it still didn't work out.
Shave mohawks in their hair, wear some different clothes.
And that even featured Pat Badger from Extreme. He played bass on that. Jason's done a bunch of solo stuff. If you go on his Bandcamp, Jason Bieler Bandcamp, there's just a ton of output. The guy's always recording. And I will go ahead and say it right now that the album he put out this year is contention for my album of the year.
Oh, boy.
And it's called Songs for the Apocalypse. It's amazing. It's Jason Bieler and the Baron von Bielski Orchestra.
And we're only 8 months into this year, and you're already putting that list together.
Oh, yeah. It's up there.
Okay.
It is so good.
A lot can happen. A lot
could happen. You're right.
Some sleepers can come around the corner.
Yeah, this is the one. So he's got a bunch of guests on this recording. So Devin Townsend, Pat Badger again is on it, Butch Walker, Jeff Scott Soto.
Local boy.
Yeah, local boy who lives in L.A. now.
Yeah.
Todd Latour. Dave Ellefson from Megadeth, Bumblefoot, who played with
Buckethead and Bumblefoot.
No, well, we mentioned him earlier, but Bumblefoot's on it.
I just love saying that.
Clay Cook, Clint Lowry from Seven Dust. There is a local boy. Seven Dust. And just a whole bunch of other guys that have helped him out on this album. It sounds like a deranged sideshow carnival.
Mm-hmm.
He's got all these, in between the songs, he's got all these just crazy interludes and pieces of...
Dark Side of the Moon. And the
sort of.
Interviews they had.
It just paints the picture and gives a little creepy vibe, but yet it's kind of funny at the same time. A little bit of Primus kind of humor to it, what he does. He's a funny guy. I hate that we're not going to be able to interview him because he's a really entertaining dude. But I'm going to play a song called Down in a Hole from Songs for the Apocalypse. Just came out 2021. Check it out.
All right, so that bass solo in the middle, the fretless bass solo,
whatever that was,
I'm guessing that's educated guess. That's what it was. That was awesome. It had just enough weirdness to keep me interested, and
Creepy Carnival
with the name of the song obviously invokes, thoughts of Alice in Chains, but the verse, the harmonies on the verse actually had a little bit of that same quality. I'm not an expert on describing the
exactly how they're getting.
It
was kind of that
sevenths and thirds.
Yeah, whatever that dissonant kind of harmony is. And Saigon Kick had that too. I think that's just a Jason Bieler thing. That's what he does in all of his recordings. It's very much based on the harmonies in the, not just the choruses, but throughout the song.
Yeah.
Lots of harmonies and kind of creepy harmonies. I don't know any other way to explain it.
It is, but it's eerie. Let's just say eerie.
They're like sweet and eerie at the same time.
Right.
So not quite Beatles sweet, but somewhere between.
We talked about Alice in Chains previously. That's what one of the things that grabs me with Alice in Chains is they have these eerie verses and then the choruses go into these major chords and just kind of grabs you back. So it's a sad, emoting verse and then it just real upbeat kind of chorus mixed in with it. And they were great at that.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, bummer we're going to miss you, Jason, but oh well, give us a call. Okay. Let's move on. Next, we're going to talk about a young lady who...
Hang on, my phone's ringing. Oh, it wasn't Jason.
Is it Jason?
No. Never mind. Go ahead.
Damn. Yeah, next we're going to talk about a young lady who is just a badass guitarist. She is from Nashville. She actually attended Berklee, and she attended it for songwriting. I didn't even know you could major in songwriting, but apparently you can. This is how you rate a course. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, how do you grade somebody?
I don't know how that works.
Well, you wrote a song, A+. Mary had a little lamb. I mean,
it's just obvious she's a badass.
Yeah.
She knows her stuff. She paid her dues. She was a one-woman show on a cruise ship. I can only imagine a young lady who's playing guitar.
You don't get luxury accommodations when you're just one of the people working on the boat.
Well, and I can only imagine like the drunk assholes.
Frat dudes coming, hey baby,
so
are you Lita Ford?
Yeah, she paid her dues. Right, so she now has her own album. She was recognized on YouTube by two old fart producers, Ron Nevison, who produced all the great Heart albums, Zeppelin, Kiss, and Michael Wagner, who did every hair band that ever existed. Michael Wagner got her. He produced her first record, which came out this year. It's called Underdog Anthems. The lady I'm talking about is Jax Hollow. And again, just a badass. And I believe this was Michael Wagner's last recording before he retired. He basically went on Facebook, put this like 3-paragraph dissertation together on Facebook that basically said, I've had a great career. This has been great. I've decided today that I'm no longer going to be a producer. I'm going to travel the world. See you later.
Like, you know how many people would love to be able to write 2 or 3 paragraphs and go, I'm out. See ya.
That's basically what he did. Like, this has been great. I love everybody, but I'm done.
And I'm done.
And just announced it to the world. Yep. Like, I'm traveling the world. See ya. See you in the afterlife.
Hey, you know what? It is goals for me at some point.
I thought that was really cool. But this apparently, we'll ask her, but I think this was his last production. So really, really good stuff. It's a mix of classic rock. So she's really into classic rock and blues. I mean, you can tell she's studied at the altar of Stevie Ray, but she's got some soul. She's got a little bit of current because she's young, so she's got, I don't know. It's just a real mix of stuff. So I'm going to play the last song from the album, which is just a crazy, you just listen and tell me what you think of it.
I will.
This is called Breathe from Underdog Anthems 2021.
Troubadour, high till you fall asleep. Sleep under your window and see what's underneath. And listen to you. Playing hard to get you done. Playing hard to get you. Playing hard to get you done. Playing hard to get you.
That guitar tone. Oh my God. I mean, how heavy of a guitar tone is that? But yet you could hear every single note in that. Then let her voice just kind of drift effortlessly.
Kind of an airy voice.
Yeah,
too.
this cloud of voice over the heaviest guitar I've heard in a while without being muddy. You know, when I hear heavy these days, it's just 63 tracks of the same crap on top of each other, and you can't pick out one instrument from another or whatever it is. It's just effects and overproduction, everything you've heard me complain about all the time.
18 layers of the same guitar.
And the same guitar. But with this, it's heavy. Love it.
It's Michael Wagner, man. If you go
him?
back and you listen to Michael Wagner Productions, he has a way of getting guitar tones. He had the gear. So I think most of his artists played from his gear that he owned in his studio.
Oh, I'm so jealous. So
he closed shop. So I don't know what happened to all that stuff.
God, if he just said, you know what?
Maybe he gave it to Rachel.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh. Call us Rachel. Rachel, call us. If you've got the gear, let us know.
If you have that amp that Snake used to get that tone.
Just tell me what it was. I'll go find one.
But yeah, she's a badass, man.
Yes.
She's young. This is her first album. It's sort of an EP. It's not that
just
long.
the tone. Fingers were involved in making
there
that
are
tone.
fingers, yes. There's some badass playing in this. And she's all over the place in each song. You're going to get straight blues. You're going to get like a bluesy slow ballad. You're going to get some really upbeat stuff. She's obviously a big fan of ours. I think she was really into Big Jack Dramatic at some point.
Absolutely.
Because there is a
influence
song
on her.
that obviously we influenced.
Yes.
We will be talking to her about
she
that.
She ripped it off from us, but we're okay with that.
That's okay.
It's okay.
We're going to let her
It's a
have
tribute.
it.
Well, I feel it's a
tribute.
compliment. She gave us a tribute by ripping off our song.
I wonder if she changes when she plays that song live and puts on the coveralls.
The jumpsuit, the mechanics coveralls, which are not flattering at all, and that's why we stopped wearing them, just for the record, because somebody told us. We like dorky at them. We're like, oh, I thought it was kind of cool.
Well, I swear, I think your boy Bobby J was wearing that the other day when I saw him.
Well, he gets, that's more of a uniform. He's not doing it ironically. We did.
So anyway, Jack's Hollow, badass. Go pick up that album. I hope that this is just the start of a long career for her. I hope that she, with her next recording or maybe the one after it, that she's able to break through into the mainstream and get some true huge success that she deserves, because really, really phenomenal player, great singer, great look, just all around badass. We'll just put her in the badass category. All right, I got one more for you before we got to pack all this shit up and get out of here. And I'm going to talk about a band from Memphis, Tennessee, and a band
down the road from Nashville, not too far.
Not too far. And this is a band that I believe has been at every single Rockin' Pod. I'm not certain that they were at the first one, because my memory of the first Rockin' Pod is a little fuzzy, because Jeremy and I were there together.
Yeah, when you two get together.
And
usually I'm the balance, because I'm a lightweight, so it only takes just a few drinks to get me completely schnockered. And Jeremy can drink anybody under the table.
Yeah, we ended up at the shoe show at some point on Friday night. So
the Country Western Shoe Show in Nashville.
It was a boot show. It was a boot show. And we
Lurleen to the Budweiser stage.
And we didn't make it to the Rockin' Pod until maybe midday, and it had already been.
They were sweeping the floors as you got there.
Yeah, so I'm not really sure if they were there, but the band I'm talking about is Tora Tora. And this is a band that I remember picking up their cassette tape at my local record shop in 1989 when their first album came out, and I went to get the Blue Murder tape. So this takes it all the way back to, who's the drummer in Blue Murder? Carmine Appice. Got it. Yes, Carmine Appice is the drummer in Blue Murder. I went to get the Blue Murder tape, who also has John Sykes on it, and Tony Franklin.
I just know Jelly Roll. That's all I know.
That was a big hit for them. And I saw this tape and another tape. I grabbed Dangerous Toys, badass band from Texas.
Don't know it.
And I grabbed this band's tape called Surprise Attack. The band is Tora Tora again. And just 3 albums that I remember to this day I still love. I own them on on CD, on vinyl, and on cassette because I'm that stupid. And so anyway, Tora Tora, I've lived with that album since '89. Love the band. They put out an album after that it didn't do so great. And then they I heard they were recording a third album and it never came out. It got shelved. It didn't come out until much later in 2011. I think they finally released that third one. But they came to Rockin' Pod. They signed my vinyl, I think the second Rockin' Pod. And then the third Rockin' Pod, they played the pre-party. And it was awesome to see them. And they played a bunch of new songs and they announced there, hey, we're recording a new album, first one in 20-some years. And the album came out in 2019. Great album. This is a back-to-basics kind of album. And I'm going to play something from that album called The Bastards of Biel. And the song that I'm going to play is called Silence of the Sirens. Again, this is Tora Tora. Came out in 2019.
Lay away. There's a distant serenade, keeps calling out my name. We've all been seduced. The lies become the truth. They say there'll be no escape. Living in a world where the chaos reigns, pushing greed, preaching hate. We can't escape the beautiful refrain. Silence the sirens, silence the sirens. I need a moment of peace, I need a second to breathe. I need someone to save me. There's endless confusion in the world today. They keep you sleeping while you are awake. Feel like being blind and there to an early grave. Resist the voice of society in their constant state of emergency, pushing false campaigns and lost crusades and seeds they will later reap. All we gotta do right now is raise our voices loud as we call out for a change. Yeah. Silence the sirens, silence the sirens. Need a moment of peace, need a second to breathe. I need someone to save me. Silence the sirens and the songs to sing. Need a moment to breathe, I need a second to breathe. I need someone to save me. Yeah, yeah. As I lay awake, there's a distant serenade. The kids calling out my name. We've all been seduced, where the lies become the truth. That said there'll be no escape. All we gotta do right now is raise our voices loud as we call out for a change.
Okay, that one truthfully didn't really grab me as much as a lot of the other songs did tonight. I don't know what it was. I'm probably just pissed the lead was really buried in the mix. Was that just me, or on your headphones did it sound like that? It just sounded like, all right, just punch in and, you're not even in the same city. We're going to record this and, just, I don't know. It didn't seem as
I thought it was
edgy as a lot of the stuff that we played tonight that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's more laid back, I guess. I thought it was a good exercise in being sparse and letting things breathe a little bit.
No, that's true. That's true. I think it was just a lot of times when I'm listening to a mix and it's really low and then all of a sudden the lead is buried, I just kind of get annoyed at that. I mean, if it's a rock band like Tora Tora and, they are known for a rock band, I just, the lead shouldn't be like,
just more in your face.
You're never going to play a lead. All right, we're just going to sit there and play. No, fucking come out there and kick me in the nuts. Play a lead, damn it.
All right. Yeah, I like that.
Not literally.
Oh.
That was a figure of speech. I was about to come over here. No, you stay over there.
Okay.
Nobody's sneaking up on me.
All right. Well, that is what I have for you. I thought that'd give you and our listeners a little background on the people we're going to be talking to and seeing.
Yeah. So behind the scenes, if we pull the curtain back, this is really for me because Kevin doesn't want me to embarrass us when we go to the Rock and Pod and I start pronouncing his name Apache or something
Who
like
are you?
that.
Who are you with?
And you are what now? You're a guitar tech for Dio? No? Oh, sorry. So this is more for me, but also the listeners got to listen into my little study, the cram session, basically right before it. On the way up there, we've got 4 hours for me to kind of brush up on some trivia to make sure I don't look like a complete idiot in front of these people.
Well, whatever. We're going to do some wild cards.
What time's the bar open there?
It'll be open the entire time we're there.
First interview is at 11. I think we need a Bloody Marys.
Yeah, we have Vinny on Friday at 3:00.
Yeah, after driving all. Well, we're gonna get there early. We'll have time for a couple of happy hours.
Yeah, we'll kick a little bit before.
Nice. All right, we're
get
good
over there. So we got to pack up, people. By the time you hear this, we will be back, but we will be tired. So you will be listening to this.
Listen to this,
and then we'll hopefully give you some great interviews, and hopefully everything comes out.
No, we've got.
You never know with the audio.
We're gonna have lots of material to talk about it when we get back.
We should have a lot to talk about. So we're gonna get out of here. Until next time, part 2. Later.